Okay, let's be real for a second. The Boston Celtics just won a championship. You'd think they'd be sitting back, basking in the glory, right? But the NBA offseason waits for absolutely no one. And with the new CBA rules and luxury tax looming like a dark cloud, the Celtics summer is shaping up to be less about adding another superstar and more about, well, let's just say strategic maneuvering. Are they actually making moves or just kicking the tires on potential additions while hoping the rest of the league sorts itself out? It's enough to make your head spin. Let's dive into what's really happening behind the scenes. First up, let's talk about the draft. While everyone's focused on the big names, the Celtics are doing their homework, and one player they recently brought in for a pre-draft workout is generating some buzz, specifically for one elite skill: shooting. According to reports from both the Boston Globe and Hoops Hype, Tennessee guard Chaz Lanier worked out for the Celtics on Wednesday. Now, if you watch college basketball, you know Lanier can light it up from deep. The 6 feet 5 inches guard was an all-SEC selection in his super senior season with the Volunteers, putting up impressive numbers: 18 points, 3.9 rebounds, and 0.9 steals per game. But the number that really jumps out? His three-point shooting. 39.5% on a high volume of 8.2 attempts per game. That kind of volume and efficiency is exactly what the Celtics' Mazzella Ball offense thrives on, creating and hitting a ton of high-quality threes. Many draft experts project Lanier to land somewhere in the 35 to 40 range in this month's NBA draft. The Celtics currently hold the 28th and 32nd picks, which puts him right in their potential draft territory, or even makes him a target if they decide to trade back and acquire future assets. So, what exactly would Chaz Lanier offer the Celtics? Simply put, a ready-made, high-volume, off-ball shooting threat. In an offense built around Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown, creating opportunities, having a player who can move without the ball and knock down open looks is crucial. Lanier's ability to shoot effectively off movement would be a huge asset, especially since he likely wouldn't have the ball in his hands, much given the talent on the roster. This potential fit becomes even more intriguing when you consider recent speculation from Hoops Hype's Michael Scotto, who mentioned Sam Hauser as a potential trade candidate for the Celtics this offseason. Hauser is one of the league's premier catch-and-shoot specialists. If the Celtics were to move on from him, it would leave a significant void in that specific skill set. Drafting a player like Lanier could be seen as a proactive move to fill that potential gap, providing a younger, cost-controlled option with similar shooting prowess, albeit with different overall games. Beyond the shooting, Lanier does possess some intriguing physical tools. He has a 6 feet, 9 inches wingspan and a 39-inch vertical leap. These physical gifts can certainly help ease the transition from college to the NBA, particularly on the defensive end. However, defense is also an area where Lanier needs significant improvement. He weighs around 205 pounds and would benefit from adding muscle to become a more effective and versatile defender at the NBA level. Yahoo Sports' Kevin O'Connor, in his scouting report, noted his defensive shortcomings. He is not an on-ball defender, and off-ball he doesn't have elite instincts. To make up for his lack of size and strength, he needs to stay more locked in. This echoes some of the concerns seen with other high-volume college shooters transitioning to the pros. Some analysts have even compared him to Aaron Nesmith, but perhaps with a less intense defensive motor. Ultimately, while Lanier's shooting is undeniable and a clear fit for the Celtic system, especially if Hauser is traded, he'd face stiff competition for rotation minutes from other young wings on the roster like Baylor Shireman and Jordan Walsh. His margin for error to earn playing time might be slim. Now let's pivot from potential draft picks to the wider NBA landscape and how a major move elsewhere could indirectly impact the Boston Celtics. We're talking about Kevin Durant. It's widely expected that KD will be traded from the Phoenix Suns this offseason, according to reports like the one from Brian Robb of Mass Live. Before you even think it, no, the Boston Celtics are almost certainly not in a position to acquire Kevin Durant directly. Their financial situation, particularly with the impending luxury tax penalties under the new CBA, makes taking on Durant's massive $54.7 million salary for next season incredibly difficult, if not impossible, without gutting their core. Acquiring a player of KD's caliber would likely require trading a major piece like Jaylen Brown, which is not the anticipated path for the reigning champions. However, Kevin Durant's expected trade could still significantly shape the Celtics' offseason, just not in the way you might initially think. Blockbuster trades involving superstar players and huge salaries often become multi-team deals. Because the team acquiring Durant needs to send out a massive amount of salary to match, it creates opportunities for a third or even fourth team to get involved to help facilitate the trade. This is where the Celtics could potentially find an opening. Given Boston's need to potentially offload some excess salary this offseason due to their luxury tax concerns, they could try to insert themselves into a larger Durant trade as a third team. In this scenario, they wouldn't be acquiring KD, but they could help the primary teams involved by taking on a secondary player or two from the acquiring team, potentially shedding some of their own salary in the process, or even picking up a future draft asset. As Brian Robb reported, given Boston's need to move some excess salary this offseason, they certainly could try to work their way into a deal to help move secondary pieces. The other aspect worth watching for the Celtics, naturally, is where Durant ends up. From Boston's perspective, the ideal scenario is for KD to land in the Western Conference, helping to keep the balance of power tilted away from their primary competitors in the East as they look to retool around Jason Tatum, who, by the way, is reportedly recovering from a torn Achilles. Another storyline to monitor: teams like the Houston Rockets and San Antonio Spurs are among those mentioned as having the assets and cap flexibility to put together strong trade packages for Durant. Durant is still an elite player, even at 35, coming off a season where he averaged 26.6 points, 6.0 rebounds, and 4.2 assists, shooting an impressive 52.7% from the field and 43% from three over 62 games. His landing spot will absolutely impact the league landscape. So there you have it. The Boston Celtics offseason isn't just about celebrating Banner 18. It's a complex dance of evaluating draft prospects like high-volume shooter Chaz Lanier, potentially addressing roster needs like shooting depth, especially if Sam Hauser is moved, and strategically positioning themselves to potentially benefit from major moves happening elsewhere in the league, like the expected Kevin Durant trade. They're unlikely to make a huge splash by acquiring a superstar directly, but they are definitely looking for smart, financially savvy ways to improve and maintain their championship window amidst the challenging new CBA environment. All right, Celtics fans and NBA followers, what do you make of the Celtics' offseason approach so far? Are you excited about potentially drafting a shooter like Chaz Lanier, or are you hoping they can somehow get involved in a bigger trade as a third team? Let me know your thoughts and predictions in the comment section below. And hey, if you found this deep dive into the Celtics summer strategy valuable, please give this video a big thumbs up. Hitting that like button really helps us out. We'll keep you covered on every twist and turn right here.